Hi, this is Dartan Beck, and we're taking a look at Carrara 8.5 Pro, 64-bit, and there's just some really neat things I wanted to show you. Some of them are new, some of them are not new, and I'm just excited about. I get that way. But there are plenty of enhancements made to Carrara 8.5 that are really noticeable to me. It's been my favorite tool to work in over the last few beta builds, and I'm really glad to see that they've put the finishing touches on this. This is certainly an improvement over the last beta build, and the last beta build was pretty awesome. So just a couple of quick things I wanted to show you. Now let's just select Genesis here, and let's say we want to zero him up. We just go to this. That zero used to be in the general tab in here, and well, so did all of the morphs. Here you can select all you want to see are the universal ones, and boom, right there, Frankenstein. Oh yeah. No, but this parameters tab is really beneficial for getting, especially, you just go with root and you'll see everything that you have under that specific listing. You get more when you go to actor, okay, and it's immense. The more you add to it, the more you add to every instance of a fresh instance of Genesis. If you already save one to your browser and then load him in later, he's not going to pick up anything automatically that you have installed since then. But what you can do, if you want to transfer, like say that I made some tweaks to this guy, and then tomorrow I buy a new package that has things that I want to add to this guy, and I only have a copy of him saved into my Carrara objects folder. A way that I can transfer him to a new copy of Genesis is, first of all, select actor and go in by the shaders and drag his if he has custom shaders, drag that multiple shading domains ball into your someplace where you're going to save it. I wouldn't overwrite anything that's in here, but give it a nice meaningful name, because as you'll see in mine, I save a lot of shaders, and it's easy to accidentally get a rat's nest going on. You really want to name them or give them meaningful folders to store them in. Okay, so first you save the shaders that you need. Then you select the Genesis end of it, just above actor, and then you go to NLA and go create master pose, and make sure that everything is selected. Okay, and click OK. Of course, giving it a name, but it's still thinking. There we go. And now, when you save this to your clip directory, now you can give it a name. If you forgot, it didn't give it a name, whatever. Now you give it a name, and now you saved it. And then when you bring in your fresh copy, why don't we go ahead and make this guy invisible, and we'll come in here and let's grab this SM5. Drag him onto the scene here. Okay, now we have him. Let's just select Genesis here. And what you do is you go load clip data and select the clip that you've made. And I just selected the wrong guy. This one. Okay. Load clip data. Pose. Okay. And now, see, and it should have dragged up Benjamin and everything. Yep, it did. It set all of the morphs just the way we had them set with the first one. Okay, now I want to remove part of that, but not all of it. I didn't really want him to be posed. I just wanted to bring the character figure on there. Well, the new zeroing stuff, instead of being here in general, and now it doesn't matter what tab you have selected. Now you just come to animation and zero, and now you can zero the figure pose, zero the shape, zero selection. Oh, and one thing I've never even tried that would probably work for transferring one figure to the new one is this memorize. I'm not sure if you can actually transfer, if you go to another one, if you would be able to restore from one to the next. So if that doesn't work, there's that NLA clips trick that I just taught you. Not the clip, it's the pose. Okay, and yeah, so we've got this zero, and we have all of these different, and you'll notice that there's zero selection, there's zero figure. So let's go zero figure pose, and that should put him in T formation. Oh, look at that. He puts his arms up in the air. Okay, now let's go to head. Animation, zero selection shape. And it'll just change the shape of his head. But I don't think it'll change anything that was selected on this level. Okay. Now another thing, okay, I'm looking at this in, however you pronounce that, Carrara, right? If you go into this interactive render settings, I know there's a lot of questions as to what's the difference between standard and pro right now going on, and one of the ones that there's always been a difference in is how detailed of a texture map you can use. Pro has gone absolutely insane. Look at that, 16,384 by 16,000. You set it like that. Is not recommended using these settings. You know what I'm saying? Cancel that. I don't want to do that. but it gives you that availability, so that as our computers advance and get more and more developed, it's going to let us do that. And I don't even want that. I usually, just for my preview mode, I usually just go with 512 by 512. That's fine with me. And again, you can get that with standard. But I can see where if you're really working in this room on your lighting, you can set just to use your scene lights, or you can have this light map and the scene lights. I like to keep it really user-friendly because I'm really pretty, I like to work in here pretty quickly. My computer's pretty fast, so I don't really have much to worry about, but it doesn't bother me going in this mode and then just saving this as a surprise for when a nice surprise for when I render it out. Okay, so now I've got a slightly different scene here. What I did is I just loaded in a basic male. There he is, and gave him some briefs so that he didn't catch a cold while we work here. And as a matter of fact, we can go to Carrara mode here, and even further, we don't even need him textured at all. So what I'm going to propose is that we select the actor level, head to texture, and get this out of the way because I have unlimited space. Let's just take shader, drag it onto skin, foot, and then we'll just drag it onto everything from there on out. And what we're doing is we're making a clay model. That's what they call this, is the clay figure. And one more. And then I go in here and, color is fine, but highlight I'm gonna bring down to 6 and then broadcast it 0 so that it has a nice even spread across him. He's looking pretty manly. Okay, so let's go back to the assembly room and deselect him so we don't see his skeleton, and he's looking pretty dapper with his nice little shorts. We could do that same principle to his boxers. Come in here and it's only one shader, so instead of doing that we just come to the general tab and set this to shader. Okay, and then we can go edit, remove unused shaders, and just to be sure, let's go to consolidate duplicate shaders and remove unused objects, because we did have another figure in here just a second ago. Now let's see what he looks like. Oh, I didn't save him. Oh, that's too bad. Let's abort that right away. There we go. And save this first. I don't want to show off any secrets or anything in here. Okay, let's get rid of him. Okay, now let's see what he looks like. Most of my default are not set for bitmap, but I'm actually becoming a fan of bitmap. See, so that's what a clay figure should look like. Nice, even spread of light. Very nice. That's what I wanted. So what I'm going to do here is I've been going crazy lately on the forums about the combination of using Carrara and DAZ Studio Pro. DAZ Studio Pro, Spooky and his team have really come a long ways with that over the years, and now it's just simply amazing. It's an amazing piece of software. And if you let's say you've always wanted a piece of clothing for your figure, and you just can't seem to find it anywhere. You might even find something close, or maybe it's just an accessory, just some kind of a thing that you want as a conforming product for your figure, or even if it's just a prop that gets parented on. I just want to show you how slick it is to do this in Carrara. Let's just, the reason I like to go with insert instead of dragging stuff from here is I like it centered at 0 space. 0 Z, 0 X, and 0 Y. And another way to do that is you could take it, drop it right onto this word scene. So now what we do is we drop in a vertex object into the scene here, which brings us right into the model room. And so I'm just going to do something real quick, is insert a cube. And let's go with a 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. We're going to have to scale that, but and there we have our cube. And leaving everything selected, I'll exit that window and now come into the assembly room. See, it still has all of its edges selected. And this feature that they've added in Carrara 8 is just amazing. And we can edit right here in the assembly room. And this is just cool. I'd like to point out that before I grab this box and this vertex object and move it in any way, I like to click edit first. And just leave it at its 0, sitting on the floor spot until I click edit. All right, but that's just me. But it'll eliminate a lot of problems. Let me just go back here a second. In here, it's keeping this clean is what it's doing. And I suppose we should actually put this at 0. I'm just going to leave it just the way it is, okay? Yeah, it's at 0. So let's go back and edit this. And what I wanted to do is make it a little smaller. I think a lot smaller though. Let's bring them up, see what it looks like. Okay. Now let's turn on, deselect everything. Select this one polygon and then we'll select symmetry. Now there are many different ways of dealing with this part of it when we actually get into the modeling of things. I'm going to take this and move it back like that just a little bit. A lot of this is premature right now. I shouldn't have done that. Let's just Control D that, and what we're going to do is let's make it deep enough so that it goes all the way through him so we can always see all of the polygons. Okay. And come out just a little bit more. See what I'm doing? I'm basically just making it so that I can see the polygons, and that's all right if they cut in a little bit. I'm being a little too pussy here. Let's keep that one selected, and we're going to extrude. And before I get into trouble, I'm going to click the link polygons, hoping that it stays, and we're going to put in this, making it 3. Okay, and right away we'll just select these, bring them up, select these, bring them up, select these, bring them in. Okay. Now we'll select this guy and the middle one. Make sure that we still have link polygons selected and our symmetry on, and let's carry on extruding. We're going to be moving around the polygons more and more as time goes on. Now we're going to scale it this way. This way, and we're going to very much follow the body. little shirt here. And we're gonna do that again. Okay, basically what I wanted to do is to keep all of these polygons pretty close to the same size and shape. So let's just bring that down a bit. And probably bring that one up a little bit. Okay, it's not so horrible. And there again, this is just a learning exercise for first steps into having fun with 3D modeling, okay? And you don't have to keep any of this stuff. You can just monkey around with it and have fun, and just experiment, and eventually you get good at this. You do. So now what you do is you turn on your subdivision and get it smooth. Let's select all this, and we've got a modeling level of 1, and we can come into model and smooth edges, all edges. Okay, maybe some of that we didn't want to do, like these right here. Let's go model. Oh, except symmetry isn't good enough, I don't think. Let's select all these. Okay, and then while we're at it, let's get those that bottom loop too. Did I get them all? I did. And then around the neck. No, let's wait. We'll go model, crease edges, selected edges. Okay. There we go. And this right here, model, crease edges, all selected. Okay. Now, see, now it's nice and flat, and we'll eventually be deleting that polygon, but you can always fill it if you know, I didn't mean fill it like fillet. Fill it if you already deleted the polygon and you want it back. Okay, for extrusion methods. Okay, but for now we're just going to leave them in there. They're not hurting anything, and they give us something to go by. And when you have it kind of tweaked in the way you like it, you know, from there you can subdivide it and export it as an OBJ. And the neat thing is, okay, let's convert this once and make sure that our symmetry is still turned on. It wasn't. Okay. And you know, there are going to be some tweaks that you really want to do without symmetry turned on to get some asymmetry going on. But you know, right now when you're doing the basic tweaking, you just want to. But now, if we turn our smoothing back on and we model according to our smoothing, right? And make it look like that. Now, when you export this and then re-import it back into DAZ Studio and convert what you bring into DAZ Studio to DAZ Studio's version of Sub D, it works beautifully. And it's amazing what kind of results you can get. And just something I thought I should show you that you can use to quickly and easily make something new. So then you export this as an OBJ, bring it into DAZ Studio, and online at daz3d.com, You can actually get there through this. Dad's website, here's tutorials, support. This tutorials link here takes you to the brand new expanding Carrara wiki that is, Daz Jarrett is working on it now, and he's doing a tremendous job. His work is fascinating. It's very easy to read, very easy to follow, but it's very professional and informative, showing us this brand new graph editor that I can't wait to play with, new enhancements to the graph editor. One of my favorite things about Carrara is its amazing ability to create animations. But report a bug currently sends you to the Daz Zendesk, and it's currently, as of the time of recording this, it almost looks like a thankless job, but it does go to the right hands, and it's going into a new system of tracking that will eventually become much better than what we've had in the past. Plugins is where you can see the various plugins that are for sale at Daz 3D. Carrara Help takes you to the PDF manual that I've printed out on paper. It's so good. It's a really good learning tool. But anyway, back at the help forum, new user help forums, and I have links in there on how to access the instructions to use Daz Studio to take these objects and turn them into conforming clothes. And the power thing about it is it doesn't have to be conforming clothes. It could be conforming hair. It could be maybe a conforming spine, or whatever you want to create. Some shorts, some shoes, a beard, eyebrows, anything you want to build. You could add the triax rigging to it, and then it's all very automated in Daz Studio. And then once the automation is complete, now you have the power to come in and tweak it with weight mapping right within Daz Studio. And of course you have capabilities like that within Carrara. A lot of the stuff that you do completely within Carrara without using the tools in Daz Studio is that you can't use it as freely outside of Carrara. Whereas once you take it into Daz Studio and use those steps, now you have the power to put somebody in Poser can have access to it, and somebody in Daz Studio has access to it, and of course now you have access to it in Carrara. And then once you get it into Carrara, now you can select it and go into model mode again and make some changes to it, okay, and then export that as a morph. Okay, and then you bring that back into Daz Studio and add it as a morph. You can do all of that within Carrara, but I'm just saying, if you do it inside of Daz Studio and keep adding it to the DUF file, you add it in a way where to store it, you actually store it right in your own content directory, and that's how that works. So just wanted to point that fun little tidbit out, and once I figure out some more stuff with Carrara 8.5, we'll be back.